can't beat a good cappuccino. Hello, hi, Sophie here, or should I say bonjour mes amis, because today is all about Cartier, specifically the Cartier Tank Française old model versus the new, because guess what? I've got a new watch alert. Whee! It's the Cartier Tank Française old model, large size, automatic movement. Whoa, that was a mouthful. But honestly, why on earth did they make a new model? Because to me, this is perfect. But don't worry, you'll hear me rant all about it and give my 2 cents worth, because luckily for you, no one is sponsoring me, so I can say what I like. Anyway, let's go.
Dooby-dooby-doo, Sophie's Watch World, dooby-dooby-dow.
So let's be clear, I am a huge Cartier fangirl. I like vintage Cartier, I like neo-vintage Cartier, I like modern Cartier, and I even like the new Cartier Tank Française, if the old one didn't exist. But it does. And to me, it's just the most bizarre thing that they've done, because they've tried to modernize it, but in doing so, they've just, again, this is just my opinion, guys, but to me, it just comes across as a more generic piece. But I'll go into it more thoroughly later. But first, let's have a look at the history of the tank.
The first Cartier tank was designed in 1917 in the midst of the First World War. Louis Cartier was looking at a picture of a Renault FT-17 tank in the newspaper, and he thought, wow, that would make a great watch design. I mean, hats off to the guy for finding something so brutal and a killing machine and turning it into a wonderful time machine. But let's skip forward to 1996 and the launch of the new Cartier Tank Française with its super chic integrated bracelet that was inspired by the wheels of a tank. A genius move from Alain Dominique Perrin. This tank boasts all the classics: Roman numerals, the blue cabochon, the railroad minute tracks, the blue sword hands. It has it all. Mwah, chef's kiss. But let's move to the present day, well, 2023 that is, and to the launch of the new Cartier Tank Française. And at first glance, it looks like, well, nothing's changed. But, oh, you'd be wrong. There are many little changes in the classic Cartier way that make a new buzzword modern design. Let us begin with the most obvious change. The dial. They've taken away the stunning, exquisite, amazing guilloche and replaced it with, in my opinion, a more generic brushed silver dial. Granted, it has applied markers, but they're kind of hard to see. Next, we have the crown that has now recessed compared to just a normal sticky outy crown. I don't know the correct term to say it. But yeah, in my opinion, it just makes it harder to use. Although it does create a more clean, again buzzword, modern look. So they've also tinkered around with the sizing. The large size is now 2mm larger than the old large size. It also has a different movement, the Solita movement, and the medium size of the new model is the same size as the old large size, although the medium size doesn't have a mechanical movement, just a quartz movement. Well, not just a quartz movement, but for the price, you know, you could definitely fit a mechanical movement inside. Lastly, we have the bracelet, which to me is the biggest change of all and the biggest shame. They took away the incredible tanky wheel effect and they've compacted it so it loses that definition and just becomes more of a generic bracelet. And they've brushed it all as well, so you don't even get that beautiful reflection in the light and that jewelry bracelet feel. I don't know, maybe they're just trying to appeal more to a masculine audience? Who knows? It must be noted that I do prefer the gold version, surprise, surprise, to the steel version of the new model. It has that champagne dial, which I think is more successful than the silver. And the brushed effect just looks better on this model because it just creates a more low-key look as low-key as a solid gold watch can be anyway. Let's take a closer look at my Tank Française large model ETA automatic movement, which was originally made for smaller ladies' watches, but they put it in this one, which works very well because you have this beautiful, thin, fine profile of the watch because of it, and that beautiful gear-shaped dial, and that stunning bracelet that was inspired by the wheels of the tank. I love the high polishing on the outer parts. It really creates that jewelry effect. For me, this is the perfect Cartier unisex watch. It's large enough that it fits a man's wrist but looks elegant, and on a woman it's a bit more sporty. And with the polishing and the way it catches the light, the sunburst guilloche dial, it's just an absolute winner.
Okay, so we've looked at the specs and the differences between these two watches, and now I just want to talk about Cartier in general, and I just don't understand why they did this, because if the Tank Française was tanking, so to speak, in sales, why didn't they just release a limited edition, I don't know, I think maybe a titanium model? That would be cool, would appeal to a masculine audience, awesome, like make an exceptional larger size again, or even a ceramic model would be cool, a dial color change. You can do all of these little things without much effort. Well, obviously you have to make the thing, which is an effort, but the design process, not so much. And that would bring attention right back onto the Tank Française again. Am I missing something here? Maybe I am. I looked at all of the videos and the articles about this new model. The problem is they're all heavily, fluffed up, because either it's a Richemont Group thing or they're sponsored. No one's going to say anything bad about a new model of Cartier, are there? Well, apart from me, clearly. But there's this whole buzzword going around of modern. It's more modern. Why? What makes it modern? I see that the silver dial makes it harder to see, harder to read, less detail. The applied markers kind of, reflect the light in a way you can't read the time, and it looks a bit squashed in. The date window at 3 o'clock makes it stand out more, which you guys might know by now I don't like. I either like a date, the star of the show, or it to be very discreet, like this is extremely discreet at 6 o'clock. I don't know. And the bracelet. Some people might prefer this bracelet. It might be better designed in a more practical way. But the slight, ever so slight inconvenience of a stiffer bracelet here, or more parts at the integrated part of the watch, means you lose the absolute definition and tankness of the watch. Again, this is just my opinion. So, for instance, if I held my wrist up, you can clearly see that this is a Tank Française. And I'll move it to a picture now of the Tank Française new model. I think if someone held this up on someone's wrist, you wouldn't know what it was. And it's not just because it's the new model. I just think it's lost the identity of the tankness of it. And yes, if you look very closely, you see that it's slanted up and it's all of this. But I don't know, I just like it bolder, a bolder design. And I like the polishing because it glistens in the light. There's again more definition. Everything about this old model is just more vibrant, more contrasting, and more beautiful in my opinion. But there's my 2 cents on that. I wonder if Cartier are gonna watch this. I'm sorry Cartier, I love you, but it's just my feelings. I'm just letting it out, okay?
And here you have my absolutely smug face thinking about how much money I saved because I prefer the old model Tank Française. Absolutely winning. Yeah, it's beautiful. But anyway, Fashion montage time! Doobie-doobie-doo! Chic French look, all in black. Yes, this Tank Française goes with anything. Doobie-doobie-doo! Oh yeah, my day drinking uniform. Look at me go. Seriously, I need to have that drink. I'm still not having any alcohol this month. Ugh. Doobie-doobie-dow! Yep, the theme continues. Disco dancer, because disco is my middle name. Get me a cocktail.
So there you have it. All the reasons why I think the Cartier Tank Française old model is far superior to the new one. No offense to the new one. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it's just how I feel. What do you guys think? Do you prefer the old model like me, or do you like the more modern design? I'd absolutely love to know what you think, so go and scroll away to the comments. And as always, I would so appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to my content. Much love. Bye.